Junior to goalie Eric Schneider, Coach Pietramala, junior captain Ryan Brown, senior captain Wells Stanwick. Dave, a quick comment about the game, and we'll take some questions.
Sure. First off, I wanted to thank the commissioner for being here today. What a special day for Johns Hopkins University and Rutgers, for that matter, to be a part of the first Big Ten lacrosse game ever. What a huge thing to be a part of. Great day for the conference in the Big Ten. More to come, an exciting game. So I'm really thrilled, with the fact that we had an opportunity to be a part of the first Big Ten game ever. That means an awful lot to this program. We've been a program that has, lived off of our tradition, lived off of, the wonderful things this program has accomplished, and this is just another thing that we've been fortunate to have happen to us and be a part of. So we are thrilled, and thank you again. Feels a heck of a lot better being in here today than it did last Saturday, I'll tell you that, and maybe the Saturday before that. We've been a team whose margin of error is just very slight, and today we cut down on some of those mistakes. Something we've been unable to do against Virginia, against Princeton, and we were there with Syracuse. We were unable to finish the game, and we finished the game today, and that was a big deal. We got stops at the end of the game when we needed them, which was important. So at the end of the day, this is, this may not be our prettiest victory, but I got to tell you, on a lot of fronts, it's one of the more important ones. It's, again, a historic moment for our program and for these young men, and it puts us at 1-0 in conference play, which, for us, given some of the opportunities that we've squandered and let kind of slip away from us in our out-of-conference stuff, it makes it even more important. So we're excited, but understand that we need to play better lacrosse, but nonetheless we're excited to earn that win today against what we think's a pretty good Rutgers team. They did a good job.
Questions?
Eric, to kind of build off that a little bit, how the turnaround from last week, especially the defensive end, just how much do you feel like that's for you guys moving forward, and what was it for you guys this week?
Yeah, I think, this week the biggest stress has been having a great week of practice, because, when you practice great, it helps you transfer over to the game and you feel more confident going into the game. And, last week was a tough week, and, we just always have a next play mentality and kind of just take one position at a time and always get in the next stop. So we just try to clear our minds and move forward against Rutgers.
Ryan, so many close losses this year. Do you kind of look at the start of conference play as a chance for a new beginning for you guys?
100%, yeah. I mean, as Coach said, we've always only had like one vehicle to get to the playoffs. So this year, we were lucky enough to have two, with the out-of-conference play and playing against big teams, and then with the Big Ten. So it's kind of like a fresh start in the new season. So if we win here, then got a shot at the playoffs.
Coach, after three quarters, you certainly dominated the first half. After three, you fell behind. Was there any special message of urgency at the end of three?
No, when you look at it, we give up 2 goals off of rebounds. If anything, it's all about little details. You give up a rebound, you're supposed to. It's no different than basketball. You got to find a body and put a body on a body. And instead we're swinging sticks and we give up 2 really unfortunate goals. And quite frankly, in the last couple games, that lead would stretch, and we'd start to let it get away. And we actually got a hold of it, which I'm proud of the guys. I thought they did a good job there. At the end of the day, the difference in this game is, we hold 3 of their 4 best guys to 2 points. We defended the Dones, and the Dones were Beta, Tressolino, Gross, and then and Henniger got 2. But other than that, we handled those other guys pretty well. So I thought that was pretty important. And I thought in the third quarter, when they started to make that run, that's when the cream rises to the top, and their best players need to step up. I thought we were able to handle those guys pretty well.
You had some obviously brutal losses this year, and yet today you turned the tide. Is there anything fine line that makes a difference between that 1 goal or 2 goal win or loss?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, our margin for error is is not very large. And, you know, this may not be our most talented team, but I got to tell you, it's one of the toughest ones I've ever been around. To go through what we've been through and to deal with a death, and then to turn around and rally back and lose a couple games the way we've lost them and be in every one of those games, you know, you look at it and you look at the record, and you are what your record says you are, and we're not going to hide from that. But you start to think when you look at the record, God, we're so far away. And you watch the games, and we're that close. And that's that margin of error I'm talking about. And as I said earlier, I just thought today we made fewer mistakes. You know, we made fewer mistakes at critical moments and critical junctures when we needed a face-off to stem the tide and stop their run. Drew Kennedy got us a huge face-off. When we needed a goal, we got a goal. And then when we needed one more goal to kind of stretch that lead a little bit and kind of breathe a little bit more easily, we were able to do that. So those are all important things, but the bottom line is we got to come back and we got to start practicing better. I thought this week the defense had a better week of practice, thus we performed better. I thought the offense had a lousy week of practice, and you know, Wells and Ryan would be the first to tell you that, and we performed that way. And this coming week, headed out to Ohio State, we're going to need both sides of the ball to show up and have a better week of practice.
Coach and Wells, to the point that you just made, it's been a search all season to have the offense and defense play well in the same game. You know, is there anything that you've kind of seen develop over the last couple of weeks that make you feel like the likelihood of that happening against Ohio State is high?
Well, listen, we're getting better. We're getting better. There's improvement every game. When you look at our schedule, we lose to Syracuse, who was number one. I think they lost today. And we have every right to feel like we were in that game and had every opportunity to think we could have won that game. And we let it get away from us at the end. We played Virginia, who was number 7 at the time, and we have a 2-goal lead with under 4 minutes. And we squander that lead. We get down 7-0 to Princeton in the first quarter. Now, when Johns Hopkins, at least since we've been here, gives up 7 goals in 10 minutes, I mean, if that happens again, you should probably put me 6 foot under. It doesn't happen. And yet we battled back from that. So we've had opportunities to win games. And like you said, neither side has showed up together, but we've made a lot of mistakes. And what we need now is we need both sides to show up and make fewer mistakes. And what leads me to believe that can happen is I'm watching us get better every day. I'm watching us get better in practice. Quite frankly, we haven't really had weeks where we've been bad in the offensive end in practice. You know, I felt like it's more the defensive end. But at the end of the day, you can be bad on offense, you can be bad at the face-off X, and you can win a lot of games if you get stops. That's what it's all about, it's getting stops. So today we did that, and we needed that, so that's a step. I'm confident that Wells and Ryan and some of the older guys and the leaders we have in the offense end will make sure we come to work on Monday and we're ready to go. So I'm confident that we'll get there. We need to just get there sooner rather than later.
To build off your mention of margin of error and whatnot, I think Rutgers had 8 possessions in that fourth quarter, 6 turnovers, and a 2-point last save. Is there a chance that turns out for you guys to be as critical a stretch on defense as you've had?
No doubt.
Or even moving forward?
Listen, no doubt. I mean, I thought it was great. How many times did they have timers on and we got stops without shots? Listen, you make your own luck. Everybody uses words like snake bitten or unlucky. I don't buy that stuff. Luck's when opportunity meets preparation, you know, and you make your own luck. And we haven't made our own luck. So in those moments where we've gotten we've been playing real well defensively, the timer's gone on, we wind up having to get down to the end and we give up a goal. You know, the 2 rebound goals are kind of a microcosm of our season. We play good defense. We give up the shot that we want to give up. We give up the 3-pointer in basketball to the guy who's never scored a 3-pointer. And yet we give it up. We give up a rebound. That's part of it. But we don't do what we're supposed to do, which is put a body on a body and clear the place out and come up with a loose ball. So those moments have been challenging. We've had more of them in the past games than we did today. Now, I don't think Rutgers is the same program as Syracuse is, and you know, those are top top 5, top 6 teams, but we got them today, and that goes a long way for this team and this team's confidence.
Just real quickly, Wells, you were here when we announced we were joining the Big Ten as a senior. Can you just talk a little bit about being here 2 years ago and then now being here today to play in this first game?
Yep, definitely. So 2 years ago when we announced that we were joining, it was one of the craziest things I've been a part of since we've been here. Just the excitement level of everyone and the fact that it's finally here this season and that we were lucky enough to play the first game and get the first win ever, something special that's going to kind of be cemented in there forever. And we're definitely lucky to be here and be in that situation. And it's just something pretty crazy. It's pretty awesome being part of the Big Ten.
I guess just to kind of follow up on that, is there something special for you personally, given the fact that so much of your life has been around this sport, to be a part of like a historic moment in lacrosse?
Yeah, definitely very fortunate to be in this moment. I think everyone on our team is. I think it's something that we're all going to kind of look back on, especially with having so many alumni back here talking about their past times. We were all kind of talking about how when we come back, it's going to be, we played that first Big Ten game against Rutgers for the first one in history and got that first win. So it's definitely something I think we'll always remember.
Coach, Kevin Xavier, Daily Fargo. You mentioned it was part of the strategy to contain their nodes. Vita and Trasolini coming in were averaging over 2 goals a game. They're both limited to 1. How did you execute to contain that?
Well, we talked a lot about this week getting custody of Trasolini. We had matchups that, I usually wrestle with matchups on Sunday night, and usually by, Monday morning, I'm fairly comfortable with where we are. And we changed up some things this week. We didn't start to get into Rutgers till Wednesday. That's not like us. Usually we start preparing for our opponent on Tuesday, but we felt like we needed to worry about us. We needed to take care of us. But when we did get to them, I did feel comfortable physically. I thought John Kelly was a good matchup for Trasolini. He's a big, strong, physical kid. We felt like Nick Fields was the right matchup for Beta. And the 1 goal he gets, he doesn't get against Nick Fields. He got against Nick Schuler. And those guys did a great job, I thought, this week of watching film. We spent a lot of time on our own watching individual stuff, but then I get a lot of text messages. Can I come up and watch some extra film? Can I get in and can we watch him? I know our guys are focused when I'm getting those and saying, hey, I'd like to do some extra stuff with you. They're very good players. As you've said, they've averaged 2 goals a game, but I think more importantly than that is the impact that they have in other ways. You spend so much time trying to find those 2 that now other guys are fortunate to benefit from that, and they wind up with some open shots. And I think just knowing where Gross was, knowing where Beta was, and knowing where Trasolini was, and more importantly with Beta was being able to cover him with the ball. And I like to believe the kid 91 we have, he's played some pretty darn good guys this year, and maybe our record doesn't reflect it, but he's pretty darn good. I think the world to him.